All right. Let's call this March 10th, 2026 Essex County Board of Supervisors regular meeting to order. April, you do I'm sorry. Supervisor Henry, would you mind doing an invocation, please?
Stand. You mind taking your headgear off, please? If you have headgear on, you don't mind? Thank you. Heavenly Father, we just come to say thank you, Heavenly Father. Thank you for allowing us to see this wonderful day of yours, Heavenly Father. Heavenly Father, we ask that you bless all those that are overseas in combat right now. Bless their families, Heavenly Father. Heavenly Father, we ask that you come in this building and just make all our minds become one, that we may make the right and competent decision for all the citizens of Essex County. As we ask your name, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Now, April, would you mind doing a roll call, please?
Chairman Akers.
Present.
Vice Chairman Gill.
Present.
Supervisor Hale.
Present.
Supervisor Henry.
Present.
Supervisor McGruder.
Here.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Get someone to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, ayes have it. We have no recognitions tonight, no public hearings, so we'll go directly into public comment. Each speaker shall provide his or her full name and Essex County address for the record before addressing the board. Each speaker will be limited to 5 minutes, and at this time, I will open it up for public comment. Lou, you have the floor.
Mr. Chairman, Board of Supervisors, April, couple of things.
Lou, would
Clark
you
Store
state-
Road.
Lou, would you state your name and address for the record,
Lou
please?
Spencer, 614 Ann Pitts Road,
Thank you.
Correct, Virginia, North District. Start off with some good news. Talking with Joe last night and then again this morning, VDOT was out in full force on Clark Store Road, finally making some repairs. I haven't been home. I don't know what they accomplished, but so everyone knows that after the snowstorm, the snowplow tore up entire sections of asphalt. So bare earth was shown, was exposed, and in some of those cases, they turned into potholes or mud holes and then into craters. So hopefully they were able to get that work started today. The second point is litter, the roadside debris. I don't know what happened this past weekend. I was actually out of town. I came home. The road is absolutely trashed. There is something wrong in the North District with regard to roadside debris and litter. It is out of control. I clean that road constantly, and within hours of it being cleaned, it's trashed again. And I'm getting ready to take my name off the VDOT sign. I'm getting ready to abandon the whole Clean Virginia thing because it ain't working. The second thing that I sent some of you, I didn't have everyone's email, but in 2050, 2060, the world, the Western world especially, is going to see population decline. 2050, 2060, 2070. There's a book called After the Spike by an author named Dean Spears and Mike Caruso. They're social scientists and economists. But something that all people need to do, and myself as a planner, population decline. It's a real thing. So when we start talking about forecasts and spending projections and everything, we need to start realizing that in a couple of decades there aren't going to be as many people around to do the work, to raise the revenue, or to spend the money on. Thank you.
Thank you, Lou. Additional public comments? Nothing? We haven't seen you so long and nothing? All right, hearing no more public comments, we'll close the public comments section out, so nobody else wants to speak. We'll go right into county administrator and agency reports. Board members, I don't have anything additional that I haven't shared already. April, did you have anything you wanted to add in?
The majority of the work is being discussed with you in closed session.
Moving on to our other organizations, let's see. Nita, do you have anything to add?
I do have one.
Nope, come on up, Nita.
Anita, you had mentioned in the report that our health rates are going to go up 8%
Yes,
as
sir.
an increase. Just real quickly, dollar estimate value just for budget planning?
I can get you that.
Okay.
I've got the rates plugged in my little budget spreadsheet, but I don't have them on me, and I don't want to say the wrong thing.
That's no problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
That's all I needed.
Anything else? Okay.
Thank you, Nita. Carlos, let's see, you have anything to add to your report, Carlos?
Greetings. So the broadband, the new updates online, but the one I wanted to highlight is that because of all the ice that we got, we weren't able to get across all the farm fields as planned. So we're going to be needing an extension from DHCD, the Department of Housing and Community Development, until March of '27. But that's not as dire as it sounds, and there is a silver lining. So we're still going to be connecting all the ones that don't need to cross farm fields in order to get connected, all the ones along roads. But those last, the last farms we have to get across, we're not going to like destroy their crops to get across them. So they'll have to be in that November to March period next year. The plus side of that is that does give us longer in the grant period to reach the people down those private roads. And so Breeze Line's going to be sending out letters to all those houses that they've identified they can't get to without permission to get down those roads. And so hopefully that increases that number of people able to connect.
That
Excellent.
is good news.
Yeah,
Excellent.
so it's a little unpleasant that there has to be a delay, but gives us some more time, so. Does anyone have any questions?
Is there anything for Carlos? Thank you, Carlos. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Brian, anything additional?
Yeah, just something to add, I did make press time last Tuesday. The planning commission's been pretty busy. Last Tuesday night, they had 3 hearings. What I put together for you there is just paper copies, kind of a compendium of what they did Tuesday night. You'll get an electronic version of that in your board docs for next month, but if you're old-fashioned like me, you'd rather have paper in your hand, retain it better.
It's a renewable resource.
That's right, yeah. Those 3 items, real quick. A proposal for rezoning that was coming to you with a recommendation of approval for 2 parcels up near the hospital. The Section 6 of the Essex County Comprehensive Plan, that's a transportation section. That's also, a copy of that is in that little packet there for you to look at. That's what Carlos and Tim and Brian and the Planning Commission have been working on for the last couple months, kind of new draft. This is also the version that's been approved by VDOT. And then the last thing is a ordinance amendment to the cell tower ordinance that's in the zoning ordinance. It was discovered that cell towers really need to be right at about that sweet spot of 199 feet. Your current ordinance only allows 125. So residents who've been complaining to us about bad cell service and Verizon operators have said, well, that's because we can't build a tower higher than 125. So this is an effort by the Planning Commission to address that issue, allow you some flexibility, but also in the process, we found out that the bond language was kind of antiquated, so we've made an attempt to put some stronger bond language into the ordinance. If you have any questions on that or other aspects of the board report, I'll answer those now.
Board members, any questions for Brian?
Good, thank you.
Thanks, Brian, appreciate it. Woody, anything economic development? Please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A couple of updates. And Chuck, are you able to share that for me? You guys see that? That is our new Explore Essex tourism logo. We have a complete package of that logo. There's lots of different color variations in the sense that there's a black and white and this kind of thing. But that's the tourism logo that the EDA has accepted from our consultant. It's going into our branding and marketing plan. It'll be on the new website. We'll use it in a number of ways, but I wanted to make sure you saw it. We received it last Friday, and you're the first ones to see it outside the EDA. I also want to update you regarding the Gateways program. In my report, I updated you on the conference that we went to and some of the latest things that are going on. What's most important is to know that the Gateways program has one more hurdle, one more visit with us. And we've set a date, April 29th, from 6 to 7:30. There will be a public meeting at the school board. We'll advertise it in partnership with the Gateway staff. This is expanding upon the Gateway stakeholders meeting that we have quarterly with 30 to 40 different tourism, environmental groups, those stakeholders. This will include the general public, and we'll work very hard to advertise this meeting to the public. The intent is for Gateway's staff to come here, explain the program benefits to the community at large, receive comment and feedback, and assuming everything goes well that night, we will be the first official Gateways community ever. So that's a big night. We're working on that. I do have one other statement, but I thought I would ask you guys if you had any questions for me regarding my report at this time.
What was the date of that meeting again?
April 29th, and we finalized that date tonight about a little after 5, so hot off the press.
And you said 6 o'clock, correct?
Yes, sir, and we'll do it at the school board meeting, and we'll make sure everybody gets the word.
School board office? over
Yes,
there.
sir.
So how are you publicizing this? You'll be.
A lot of
it'll be a
different
public
ways.
notice.
So important ways, so definitely through social media. That will be a partnership with the town, county, all of our social media aspects, community calendars. I'll work with county staff, the press, the radio station ×2 with Hot Mix as well as the other radio station. So we're going to pull out all the stops on this. That's what the Gateways program wants from us, is to show the community support. Essentially, they've told us we're in. This is the last thing they need to do. And this is a huge step. You guys realize how important this is to marketing and branding and tourism in our region.
Thank you.
Couple things. I know this is big for the state, and I know the Virginia Economic Development Partnership has been working on an internship in Virginia. And Woody, I would like you to comment on that because it is huge and it could mean a lot for our area here. So I wanted you to say this in public so that everybody can hear. This is a great thing and a great opportunity. So I'll let you add in some more there, please. What it is and, how we as a community can participate in this.
Yes, sir. So this program is run by Virginia Economic Development Partnership, VEDP. It's been around for a couple of years. They've put renewed emphasis on it. Our local partners in our community include Rappahannock Community College, Bay Consortium Workforce Development Board. The EDA is supporting this. The Chamber of Commerce is supporting this. So we're going to work throughout all of our media, social media and otherwise, and our partners to get the word out about this internship program. What's unique about it is it's an 8-week program, and it's open to students who are in a 2- or 4-year college program, perfect for RCC. Employers who take on an intern get 50% match. They work out a salary, they agree to it. If it meets the parameters, the state pays half of that 8-week internship. A student can do multiple internships. There is not a limit to the workforce places that a student might apply to, meaning I see it as a real good fit with the chamber. And Greg Huff and I, we're planning to meet and talk about this because all of our businesses who might need a little help, especially from a young person who has certain skills, which we all understand, they can bring these guys in, they get half the money for it, they could stay with them and let those students do a longer internship, but I haven't found a red flag yet. So our partners will publicize this through RCC and the Bay Consortium. I'll work with Chris through the press and all of our online methods, as well as the chamber will also promote this.
So this can improve the skill levels, put them in trades, HVACs, carpentry, whatever, locally here. That's the key. This is local, folks. That's how big this is.
So we met last week with the program administrator, myself, and Pallet Machinery Group. PMG has really dug into all these opportunities through the state, through internships, through new classes for metalworking machinists. So PMG plans to apply for this.
Great.
I'm going to get the word out. I think it's something that all of us can benefit from.
Go ahead. I have another question about something else, but if you want to ask about this program.
one. So what's the probability of them getting a job once they complete this internship? So what, is it gonna be a guarantee for them to do this, or they're gonna back them to try to get them a job, or what?
The way I understand it, Mr. Henry, is that this would be like most internships where it's something that the student would do for at least 8 weeks and maybe more. And it's something that goes on their resume. Maybe it leads to a full-time job, but at least it's real world job experience. And that's the key to it. Part of the reason we want to promote it so much here is because we want our students, especially those at RCC, to find jobs here. So, yes, sir.
My other question is, we had a co-application with the town on a 2022 RAISE grant. Can you give us an idea where we stand on this?
Yes, sir. So this particular RAISE grant, this is the one we call the Multimodal Transportation RAISE grant. It most applies to us in terms of helping us understand transportation at places like Rotary Poorhouse Park. It would help us work with transportation issues within the town. The story on this is, of course, that it lay dormant for a while, and the county is a co-applicant. Mm-hmm. So I've been working with James Knighton, assistant town manager. I've had some updates, which I've shared with this board since the fall. A lot of work with trying to determine, is this still alive? Are the funds still available? Change in administration, did that affect anything? This is the most promising report we've had from James in the town office so far. In that, he said the grant funds remain available. He said that he's finishing up an RFP related to this grant where they can put it out to bid and get some of this work accomplished. And that the extension, we may need an extension on this program, and that the feds seem to think that an extension is possible. So it's the most promising. Can't make any promises, but this is the most promising word we've gotten back on this yet.
Chairman Akers, I know you and I sat with the town a long while back, and thank you, Woody, for that update, and I appreciate that. I wish I could share your enthusiasm of good news, but like I said, this is a 2022. We are in 2026. This is 4 years later, gentlemen, board members. I think I would feel better if they've been working on this RFP, even if they haven't completed it. Chairman Akers, I don't know, I think this should probably come not from Woody, but from our county administrator, that let's see the draft. Let's see how much progress they've made on the RFP. Just give us some documentation. Yeah, hey, we are working on it. I want to verify this, great news. And this performance extension, what are they written up, even if it's a partial? I mean, like I said, we're co-applicants. We have every right to see this, even if it's not finished. I just want to know, are they really working on it? Are we making progress? Or is this just tell them what they want to hear, good news, and moving on, you know? Because it's 4 years later, and we have not moved on this at all. And we're talking about $1.5 million?
Woody, in your report, you said that the assistant town manager was meeting with the Federal Highway Administration the week of March 2nd, which was last week. Have you heard any update from that?
No, sir. And
Okay.
I was at the town council meeting last night. It wasn't on the agenda that I heard. So I came in right after our public hearing, but I don't think there was an update. So I understand your
So
question.
that, to your point, yeah, we still don't know.
I can make that a request during our board request time or whatever.
I think we should request an update from the town.
But not only I don't want an update, we got an
Right.
update. I want to see evidence, you know. I want to see progress. I want to see something physical that says, yeah, they are making progress and what they're telling Woody is right on the mark, and that's fine. So,
What we'd asked for.
I just want some
when
accountability.
this RFP was being discussed, we asked that we see that RFP before it goes out.
and how long ago was that, Sharon Akers,
was
when
a
you and I
while.
sat there? 2
It was
years
2
ago?
years, yeah.
2 years ago. RFP not in 2 years? So if this is true, what they're telling our EDA director, let's see the draft right now. It doesn't have to be finished. I just want to see the draft. They should be able to hit a button tomorrow and get that to us.
Yeah, this is one of those things.
Sorry to
that
be tough on it, but this
Well-
has been dragging on too long.
The passion, for those that aren't familiar, we had an opportunity that we could have went for this grant on our own as the town was looking to, do a similar grant on their own. And the PDC recommended at the time that that was not a good idea, that neither one of us would get it if we didn't go in together. We agreed to give the town, the acting manager part of this grant program. And we've been asking for updates, ever since, trying to get a status, because we had a lot tied to the Rotary Poorhouse Park track and some looking at kayak trails and everything else that we're gonna use this money for. It's a planning grant, so it's not a make anything grant, it's a planning grant. But that would go a long way in helping us with our probably Poorhouse Park plans. We could probably work some of that in there.
Yes, sir.
Along with other things. So that's
We
why,
got this Chesapeake Gateway stuff, and we need to know something, so.
I think it'd be helpful to request that we get a copy of the RFP as currently
Written.
written.
I worry about the availability of those grant funds. I mean, I know that's contrary to what you had in your report, but I still worry about that.
Thank you, Woody. You have one other thing? Go
One
ahead.
last thing.
Yep.
So I mentioned I was at the town council meeting last night, and it was one of their budget sessions, just like we had here last week. A lot of the same players in the room making requests. And the thought occurred to me that, when presenters come up and make these budget requests, we're trying to get in, make our pitch. We know there's other people that you need to hear from. But we missed an opportunity last week, and I want to take advantage of tonight to say this. I sit in a lot of meetings with the players who come to you for money. And we all have a Carlos story. Or we all have a Chuck story. Or an Alex story. This happens almost every time. The support that we're getting from the county administrator and her staff. Now, I want to speak very specifically from the EDA, because I get fantastic support from Mary Davis in finance. I get great support from Brian's office for planning, zoning, working with the planning commission. Fantastic support from IT. The computer I use for this job is from the IT department. But I want to mention something very specific. About a month and a half ago, Steve Colangelo from the Refuge Friends called me. He said, I need your help. We got to get support from the localities and agencies to get the money from the federal government to buy 2 new pieces of property to go into the refuge. Pretty big deal. I was given a month 5 weeks to pull this together, get the letters of support. And I said I would help. And then a week later, the deadline changed. I need these in a week. Nobody wants to hear. We got a week deadline, 5 days, drop dead. This was important. One of these pieces of property is at the Hutchinson Tract, over on Mount Landing Creek, and that's in Essex County. So it was very important to me that one of those letters of support come from the county. So I worked closely with Gina, and Gina worked with the county administrator, and I got my letter, and I met the deadline, and that was transmitted to Rob Whitman's office. And the Migratory Bird Commission hopefully is going to provide some money. Point is, Mr. Magruder often gives shout-outs, and I appreciate that. But those kinds of stories about turning something like this letter of support, it's a big deal. I needed it quickly, and it got done. So I'm grateful. All of us get good support from your team. And that's all I had to say. Any questions, sir?
Appreciate that. Thank you
Yes,
for the
sir.
recognition. All right, next we have, let's see, Kyle, do you have anything to add? Thank you. Mary's not here. Jay? No. Thank you. Havens, do you have anything to add? Thank you. Is Kay here? I thought I saw Kay earlier.
I'm not Kay, but I'm standing in.
Okay.
And, yeah, the Parks
I
Planning.
would have never have known Carlos.
Yes, I do good impersonations. The Parks Planning Commission, instead of it being on the 19th, it's being moved to the 18th of next week. So that is the message to relay. So instead of the 19th, it'll be the 18th.
Thank you. Candace, anything additional to add?
So we can expect to see changes to the Medicaid program. And so right now, we have 1,001 individuals in Essex County who are part of Medicaid expansion. So Medicaid expanded 10 years or so ago. Those are the only Medicaid population that will be impacted. So as of December 31st, 2026, that Medicaid expansion population will have to renew their application for benefits every 6 months. That is for people ages 18 to 64. There will be a work requirement for them, so they will be required to work much like the SNAP requirements now. There is a work group who will convene and have to have a requirement implemented by June 1st of 26. We expect that work requirement to be anywhere between 15 and 20 hours. But again, the only population it impacts is those ages 16 to 24 in the Medicaid expansion group. So that does not include the elderly, the disabled, or pregnant women.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see. Is Cupper here? Chuck, do you have anything to add?
No, sir.
Thank you. And Angela's not here. All right, John, you want to do some call-outs?
Absolutely, absolutely. We'll start with Parks and Rec. Lou and I'm sorry about Clark Store Road. Wish I had a great solution, but the Clean Essex Committee did receive a Keep Virginia Beautiful Award. So we are making progress in certain areas and wish we could make more progress in some of the harder hit areas. But they did receive a Keep Virginia Beautiful Award, so that's a nice honor for that. I was also impressed, I did not realize the great need for our Friday night group that Park and Recs does for the juniors and high school seniors, and not only for our local, but apparently it brings in kids from other counties as well. 5 different counties showed up for Friday night events there, so I appreciate Parks and Rec. Take that back to Kay for me, that we appreciate their work to help our youth have some activities on a Friday night, and I'm sure Sheriff Holmes appreciates that as well. Library, just to remind people, Haven, I was impressed that 17 to 24 people show up either on a Tuesday or Thursday for the AARP tax help. People, please utilize this service. This is great. They could take more people. Isn't that amazing? Wow. It's really cool how libraries are developing into more than just a place to check out books. You're really a community service, and that is great. Thank you for participating in the Tappahannock Elementary School Literacy Night and Book Fair. I'm sure that was very successful and very appreciative. And I was very impressed too with your winter reading challenge, 67 youth and 89 adults in a reading challenge. So keep up the good work there, you and your staff, so thanks for that. Want to shout out to Grace Lund and Tyler Rugacki. So Kyle, if you'll pass on to them, they passed their EMTB certification. That's, again, folks, I say this again, but I'm going to repeat it again. Your staff and employees here are bettering themselves to provide better service for you in the community. So, and I notice, and I think the board notices, and how much we appreciate that. Brian, to be asked to participate in an annual conference on floodplain management is impressive. I mean, that is really, that just tells us that we are the leading edge. If we're being asked to a conference, then people are going to follow our lead. So thank you for all the work. I know you've been working very hard on the floodplain, and to be able to be featured at a conference is on compliance and grant funding. It's just phenomenal. It really is. So kudos to you all for that, as well as your certification, yours and Carlos's certification in floodplain managing. I mean, that really says a lot again about our staff. Nita, please take back to Brian how much we appreciate him finding a grant for our joint maintenance facility, but also including body armor for our sheriff's office and some vehicle parts grant as well. I think there were some tires in that. I mean, you know, we depend on these grants so much, and to be able to utilize that, again, to keep our facilities and our equipment and all that top notch, that's great. And also, thank you to your staff for working on the school grant reimbursement to get that in a timely fashion. Folks, that's a $530,000 grant money that came back to us because of our work of our staff, and that's impressive, and I appreciate that. So, thank you, Chairman Akers.
Thank you. Board members, Ronnie, any additional comments?
I echo everything Supervisor McGruder has said. They were good reports again this month. Thank you.
Calvin, Joe, you have anything?
Nothing.
Perfect, thank you. School superintendent's constitutional officer VDOT reports. Christina's not here. Kristen, did you have anything to update? Please.
At last Wednesday's meeting, I went home and something clicked, and I did not think to add tax relief for the elderly or the disabled veterans exemption totals to our projected revenue for real estate. So next business day, I went in and the staff and I started entering them in as fast as we could with what we have. We usually wait more closer to the adoption of the budget to know kind of where y'all are falling with the tax rate on how to correctly calculate the relief. But we went in and put in as if the tax rate's going to stay the same, because I don't know of any different. So our total relief between the two programs this year, we're looking at $148 and change for the entire year. The due date for tax relief for the elderly has passed. I do have a little bit of a grace period for them to come in, but as far as I can see right now, these two are pretty set. Unless we have a disabled vet to come in between now and the books, these figures are $148. So I got with Penny, and our new projected revenue is $10.9 for this year, and I've let Juanita know as well.
So is that a reduction, without looking at my book, is that a reduction from what we had before, or is that just wasn't included?
That just wasn't included.
Okay.
Yes. And I don't think it's ever been included in the projections. I was just, in years past, I've only been asked to give the previous year's booked values, and the relief programs are not included in those booked values. So I don't know if it's ever been included, but this year I feel that y'all should know what you're looking at for relief totals for 2026.
Perfect,
Thank
thank you.
Yep.
Thank
Thank
you for
you,
that.
guys.
That's good you picked that up. Appreciate it.
I don't believe we have, Dr. Jones isn't here. Arnie, did you have anything you wanted to add? Thank you. Penny, did you have anything additional?
Thank you for moving the money to the higher interest rate.
And Lee is not here.
I do have something on the VDOT report.
Yeah.
When Lee was here last month, he said he was going to get back to us about the cost estimate for the Gwynfield turning lane, and there was nothing, there's a section in there that says, supervisor's request, and that item wasn't even on his list. I just want to follow up to make sure he has that on his list.
It may be that he was temporarily reassigned to the Fredericksburg residency to cover a vacancy, but I'll reach out to him.
Just reach out to him, that's fine, as long as we're on track and he's gathering that information. Thank you. They were asking about it, so I needed to get back to him. Thank you.
Choking.
We have two board committee minutes, the Airport Authority and Planning Commission. Any board members have any questions on those? Hearing none, look at the consent agenda. Get somebody to make a motion to approve all three.
So move.
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, ayes have it. New business. So we have two budget action forms, both the same, different areas. Both of these are for the supervisor training course that Supervisor Hale and Henry are attending. So I'd seek a motion to approve each of these in the amount of $400. So the first one is for $400 for the at-large supervisor, for $400 to cover the VACO certified supervisor's course.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, ayes have it. Next, we have the budget action form for the North supervisors, same thing, $400 for the VACO certified supervisor course.
So move.
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, ayes have it. Next, general properties. Jay, it's a big amount. Do you want to speak to that? No, I don't need to. So we've got a refund for $70.65. I'm assuming nobody's gonna have any objections.
Every little helps, and we're tracking it. So a motion to approve the transfer of ADT refunds in the amount of $70.65 from miscellaneous refunds to general properties as presented.
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next, we have a budget action form for general properties, and this is for to replace the HVAC at the health department. It's currently a 27-year-old unit and is in need of replacement, so that is for $6,200.
Motion to approve the transfer from reserves in the amount of $6,200.
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, ayes have it. Finally, this was just added today, so if we need more time on this, that's okay. It's a budget action form for the Essex County Public Schools. There's multiple lines on these. Nita, do you want to speak to those at all? Okay. Board members, do you have any questions for these? I've got a couple, but.
This just popped up today. I feel real uncomfortable without having a chance to study this. I mean, popping it up on the last day before our meeting, and, I'm consistent, folks. I need to study this. This is brand-new stuff, so.
I think what I would like to see, we don't know these budget codes intimately, obviously like you guys do, and because it's not our budget. So, I mean, looking at a bunch of numbers is really, doesn't help us much to approve something because we don't know where it's going. I mean, I get we have object codes, GL codes, and what it looks like to me is that the first 4 of these is actually going back into what I think is the elementary school for stipends.
Well, no, sir.
It's not
They're expense lines that, So the first two, the Math Innovation Grant and the Math Acceleration Grant, they are not for stipends. They were awarded in February, and they are going to be purchased, from my understanding, they're going to be purchasing some materials for the children, just to further math enrichment programs. So this is the from code is the revenue line that it was entered into on the county side when we received the money. The to code is the expense line that it's going to for the out transfer. And this is the two that are for the 7820 and the 1436 are for STEM expense lines.
Now, the 200 code, does that identify the location, like the school?
So the 208 code, yes, is
I'm talking
a
about the
grant
200
code.
The 200, the one at the end, does that identify location?
Oh, it is, it's I get them confused, function,
Okay.
I think. But it's not necessarily the location, because our codes on the county side are not broken up by school. It's either by the grant type, if it's a federal grant, or if it's a state grant, or if it's nutrition, those kinds of things.
I would personally feel more comfortable kind of knowing what these are going to,
Okay.
even if it's just a paragraph that explains what it is. I just don't know that I've got enough here to know what that is. Not that I'm opposed to any of it. I just don't know. But the one thing that pops in my head is we have this one for refunds and rebates. And what I want to make sure is that that's not some refund or rebate for monies that we paid for the penalties that we had previously paid for that is still owed to us by the schools.
We received $1,598.18 from the Department of Accounts in December. We did not have any other information other than what's in your packet that just says we're releasing refund money back to you that was previously held for vendor payments. We couldn't locate that particular amount as a singular amount that was charged to anywhere. We called 8 different times and talked to different people at Department of Accounts trying to figure out, can you please tell us what this refund covers? No one could tell us exactly what it covers. We'll get back to you, we'll call you back. So it was just kind of a mystery, and we're holding this check for the last 2 months, trying to figure it out, and we just went ahead and deposited it so that it is in the school funds. It appears to be money that was most likely paid for employment tax. It could have been either VEC for unemployment tax or for state employment tax.
Yeah, I'd like some further clarification on that if we can get it. I know you've tried, so.
Okay, we'll keep trying.
I don't know how the board feels. I'd rather bring this up at our next meeting, see if we can get some additional details on this, just so we're clear on what we're approving.
On the first two that you brought up, Nita, the 2 grants, what they are planning to use the money to buy materials or whatever, does that fit within the grant guidelines?
It does, from
It
what
does?
I have read.
Okay.
The grant award notifications were included in your packet. It's not overly specific, but from what I understand from Angela Gross, and then the other Victoria Boone, who are administering the grants, their plans for them seem to fall within the lines. Brian reviewed them. He said they match up.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
What's the miscellaneous local revenue?
That was money sent back to us from VHSL for the District 1 football games, where it's a percentage that they return to us for ticket takers, for the athletic director, and for security.
So how does that money work now? Let's just say a ticket sales at a football game. Does that money actually come into the county?
It comes into the school activity fund, and then they have to report all of that to VHSL. And then there is a whole sheet that Todd Jones, the athletic director, completes, sends in to VHSL with the gate receipts, all that information. and
Those
then
ticket sales were online, and we're getting a reimbursement?
Not for the ticket sales. This is for the time for the people to be, like the ticket takers at the gate. It was 2 of those people that were listed, and it was for athletic director's time to organize everything for the games, as well as security for those games.
So it's operational staffing
Correct,
reimbursement?
correct.
Okay.
And it was just a portion. It's not even 100%. I forget what the percentage is, but it's split kind of among the school and VHSL reimburses some of that.
And that money is going to be budgeted to where?
It's going back to the salary and benefits line, which is
Okay.
where those people are paid from.
That's fine, okay. Makes sense. Thank you.
I don't know how I missed these grant details before, it just didn't pop up on me. I see it now in there, but I didn't see
No,
it
that's okay.
before. So that's a little bit more information, but.
Okay.
And then the last one, the STEM team grant?
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that, yeah.
Yes,
That's the
sir.
biggest one.
That one came in June of 2025, right at the end of the fiscal year, and it looks like it was received at the treasurer's office and booked into revenue for the schools. However, it was not appropriated out to the school. And we're just trying to kind of clean that up and get it back to the school because Mr. LaFollette has been working with his group, has some expenses coming in that grant is supposed to be covering.
So is there, I was just looking through this data, and there's two checks in here. It's for the $500 and for the $2,465. But the check's written from Essex High School to Essex County Public Schools.
So they received the checks from BHSL because it was paid with their activity funds. So I believe the accountants advised to run it back through that way. I can double check that.
So does VHS, do they submit a check to the high school and then they're reimbursing us and then we're taking and sending it back?
It is very
It seems like a
it is
little-
very overly convoluted for the amount of money that's flowing through.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
probably taken twice as much time
Right,
to track it.
okay. All right. Board members, any thoughts about
I think if
getting
need
some
is
additional
going
information and taking it up in a,
They explain it right there.
board members' thoughts?
I would just echo that, it would be good to know where that money's going. And, I mean, I see the code, but I don't, that doesn't mean anything to me, so. If it was just in a text line, if it's in here, there's 14 pages here, I know, but, we could get some more clarification on that.
On what they're gonna use the funds to purchase for those math grants?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, we can get the, I think they have purchase orders ready to go. So I'll get that
Well, that's-
information
yeah.
from them.
And we have other meetings, when's our next meeting that we have set up?
2 weeks.
Yeah, so I mean, we have other meetings prior to our next meeting, so we can take it up at another time if we need to. So if we can just get some details on that,
Sure.
then we can get it added to our next meeting.
Okay.
Thank you, Nina. All right, hearing no other new business, get a motion to read us into closed session. John, you want to take a stab at that again?
You ready?
have we updated that or just read the whole thing?
No, we need to update, we don't need to read the whole thing, do we, Max?
Go ahead.
Before you read, I have a message from Dr. Jones with the school that wanted to report the current ADM is at 10:44.
Okay.
And it's not able to make it to the meeting tonight.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I don't mind reading the whole thing, but
Yeah, I would recommend reading the whole thing.
Okay.
Just
Of
to
course
be
you would.
well. There are a couple topics that could touch on multiple.
I move that the Essex County Board of Supervisors convene in closed meeting pursuant to the Code of Virginia, Section 2.2-3711A3 for the discussion and/or consideration of the acquisition of real property for a public purpose and the I always mess this one up, disposition of publicly held real property where discussion in an open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the board related to the leases and use agreements, potential property acquisition and sites for public facilities, and pursuant to Virginia's Code Section 2.237A6 for the discussion of consideration of the investment of public funds where competition or bargaining is involved, where if made publicly initially, the financial interest of the county would be adversely affected related to public facilities, public services, and interagency agreements, and pursuant to Section 2.2, 3711A8 for the consultation with legal counsel employed or retained by a public body regarding specific legal matters requiring the provision of legal advice by such counsel, including related to agreements, real estate transaction, and contracts, and pursuant to Virginia Code 2.237A29 for the discussion of the award of public contract involving the expenditures of public funds and discussion of the terms of scope of such contract where discussion in open session would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body related to the improvement of government property and facilities and related services.
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We're in closed session. All right, get a motion to re-enter into open session?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and probably second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Do a roll call, please, April.
I will. Chairman Akers.
Present.
Vice Chairman Gill.
Present.
Supervisor Hale.
Present.
Supervisor Henry.
Present.
Supervisor Magruder.
Here.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Perfect. Somebody read the compliance certification, please.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, whereas the Essex County Board of Supervisors has convened a closed session on this date pursuant to an affirmation recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas Section 2.2-3712 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the board that such closed session was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now, there, be it resolved that the board hereby certifies to the best of each member's knowledge, one, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements of Virginia law were discussed in closed session to which this certification resolution applies, and two, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed session was convened were heard, discussed, or considered in the meeting by the board.
Any member who believes that there was a departure from the requirements of clauses 1 and 2 shall state the substance of the departure that in his judgment has taken place. Hearing none, will you please certify the board members? April?
Chairman Akers.
I certify.
Vice Chairman Gill.
I certify.
Supervisor Hale.
I certify.
Supervisor Henry.
I certify.
Supervisor Magruder.
I certify.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, board requests and directives. We have our special meeting, the general budget work session on March 24th at 7 p.m. here in the Beal Boardroom. Our April work session, April 14th at 5 p.m. Regular meeting, April 14th at 7 p.m. And then the adoption of our 26-27 budget on April 23rd. Any other directives of the board?
Just a reminder, April's going to reach out to the town manager to get a copy of, even if it's a draft or whatever they've got right now, the RFP that they've been working on for 2 years, as well as what documentation they have on the performance extension for the RAISE grant. The other one I would like to put on a list, not that it's something we have to hit right now, but we might have to make a change to the ordinance to require this, but when people certify or go to the zoning, planning commission to get a permit for something, if they have a plat of the property, Carlos has got to take that plat and then he's got to kind of draw it on the county tax map and all. You can actually get shape files, computer files that can download it right into his program, and we can make more accurate tax maps based on these plats. But we have to require that shape file be part of the zoning process, permit process. So we need to get some more information on what steps that means or whatever, but it would be beneficial for more accurate. I ran into this situation so many times where people, the Onyx hunt map, it downloaded from the county tax maps. and they're not always right where the lines are, and that causes a lot of problems. Yes,
What brought it up to discussion tonight? Did you,
nothing tonight, it's just something that I've had on my list, and I just wanted, as I said, doesn't have to be done between now and the end of budget season. Just put it on our list of things that we need to work on in the near future.
would it, I think it would be beneficial, it's the first I'm hearing of it.
Yeah, it
If
is.
maybe Carlos or the, planning, whoever, come to a work session and explain to us
Exactly.
why that's,
That'd be fine.
holding things up, then we can work with,
But you gotta give access to everybody.
I'm sorry?
You gotta give them access, though.
Access.
Like, people in the county, when they are doing these, requesting these permits, and on that thing, if you look at it, it asks you for a plat. And you
Well, I
have
think
to
if he
go.
comes and briefs it to the board, then we can go from there, because I
Yes.
know Brian is also working on increasing, or recommendations, for the permit fees.
Okay.
So
Well,
if there's
if-
some actions that we could take.
If it's okay with the board, I will reach out to both Carlos and Brian to prepare them for what I'm thinking about and all, that they could come to a work session and tell you the benefits of having that and what procedures or whatever that they would need to get to that. I've talked to them before, but
Okay,
I,
so maybe May or June, but not in,
none, anytime between
Okay.
now and the budget, I just want to get it on our
Okay.
to-do list that you're keeping, things in the
Mm-hmm.
future that we need to talk about. And that's just one of those
Do we,
neat things.
do we need to have the planning commission involved in that at all?
I was thinking the same thing.
Well, I
Let's
was
have the
think-
presentation first at the work
That was-
session, and then we can direct at that point. I don't think that's a bad idea, but, it's just something that we can discuss at the work session. It's not that much, but it's a neat process that can help, in the long run, make our tax maps even better. Some counties, like Caroline County, are excellent. I mean, they're doing that now.
they're requiring it of the
I don't know how they're
individual?
doing it, but they have really accurate tax maps. Because anytime somebody certifies a plat at the courthouse, it's getting on that map for the GIS system.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure if it was the actual individual, or if it's something that's a service that they put them together and then update the maps, It'll be interesting to get the presentation
like
to
it-
understand the
Yeah,
process
but
of
the
that.
bottom line is if they can
Yeah.
give a file to our GIS guy, he just drops it, it's done. So,
Right.
it may be a little more complicated
I just
than that,
wasn't sure
but
if
that's
it's come from the
basic.
person or from the courthouse.
Yeah,
That was my question.
but no, if it's a zoning permit, see, that what makes it even easier, because it's part of the permitting process. But we'll talk,
Just don't
we'll
want it
talk
to be
later.
difficult for our citizens.
no, it won't be difficult for
okay.
them, so.
Thank you.
Any other business of the board? Hearing none, get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Oh,
Oh.
you have something else?
Nope, I'm good.
We haven't closed it yet. Still time for discussion.
No, I'm good, thank you.
Me too.
All in favor?
Uh,
We're adjourned.